David pushed his hair back off his face. In the wet wool of the thick air, it clung like spider webs, giving him willies as he imagined the one thing he was really afraid of. Greer laughed at him, his usual low chuckle when David's harsh personality amused him. "What are you laughing at? You're okay because your people are from here, you darky."
Dude, you are way messed up. My people are from Africa. Trust me, we aren't built for this kind of humidity.
Greer never stopped his careful chipping at the rock beneath him. "At least your hair sticks up and out of the way."
Yep, which is the reason my race is superior, and yours felt the need to better yourselves by enslaving us.
David also never took his eyes off the ground layer beneath them. There was no good comeback, and so he avoided one altogether, the conversation trickling off to nothing while they worked. There was water making constant background static nearby, and a damned obnoxious bird that had a call that just never quit. God had been laughing when he put the lungs on that thing. Just as soon as it shut up, another one would answer it. Evidence of deer had been all over the first few days, and it had taken nearly a week to push back what time and the East Tennessee climate had done to the abandoned site. It was slow going in the backwoods, with the rustles of forest and the slope of the Appalachians beneath them. The only sound that broke the peace was the two men calling each other names and the high ching of the tiny picks striking rock. Neither of them had the easy swing of a student, so the calls of the birds were periodically interrupted by the sharp screech of metal glancing off rock, followed by a colorful string of swear words. Then, after a brief pause, nature would resume its noise, hiding the fact that they were there from the cities and homes not that far away. "Greer, this one's for you." Carter brushed off his knees and stood, not cursing out loud this time. The pain in his joints that told of age was not anything he wished to acknowledge to the world.
What is it?
Fuck if I know. It's a bone. Maybe it's a damn trilobite. If you're lucky, it's one of your lizards. He heard the edge in David's voice.
Dinosaurs aren't lizards. You know it, I've told you that.
Ah. David stood and stretched his hands over his head, taking in the thick mass of tall trees and virtually untouched wilderness that enclosed them. "That would imply that I listen to you." He tried not to let his legs give him away as he moved to a new spot that had looked interesting. But even from where he was bent over his dig, Greer saw it.
Well, listen to this, my honky friend. I'm bigger than you, and stronger than you, and...
He pointed his pick at David's knees.
Not nearly as arthritic as you, so don't call my dinos lizards. It's insulting.
Hey, Greer, you do know that all your dinos died, right? That means that you're studying an animal that is gone, 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 and won't ever come back. You have a totally useless profession. Greer snorted.
Dude, you think the limestone you hold is going to reveal anything other than what happened a zillion years ago?
David held up one chunk that he had extracted and smiled. "This baby can tell the future."
Well, you just tell me what your magic 8-ball there says.
"We're headed for another polarity shift." David smiled. There, he'd said it out loud, even if it was only to Greer. But Greer snorted again.
Yeah, in another million years.
He pushed himself to his feet and dusted off.
Be sure to let me know how that pans out for you.
David started carefully picking his way through the grid lines. "Just go play with your petrified lizard." But Greer was already standing over it, looking down, trying to figure what the piece that David's pick had revealed might be. He turned his head one way, then another, before sliding the instrument into the hammer loop of his carpenter jeans and pulling out a smaller, lighter one from a deep pocket somewhere. His voice was no longer the one that insulted David, but a little more thoughtful.
There's a good chance this dig will help us solidify the dinosaur therapsid link.
Us? I don't need a link.
Us paleontologists.
Greer knelt down and spoke to the small, whitish smooth piece buried within the packed limestone.
Come to Papa.
He took a few small swings at the peripheries before speaking to David.
Actually, you do need a dinotherapsid link. The therapsids were dinosaur-like pre-mammals and warm-blooded to boot, which means they are absolutely pertinent to you, Mr. Mammal.
Like I care about the distinction between dinos and lizards and therodons.
Therapsids.
Exactly. I don't care. My kind survived, me and my mammal friends. David could see the edges of Greer's smile, even though he was bent over, softly chipping at the rock.
Come to think, I'm not so sure that you are a mammal. Mammals are warm-blooded.
Oh. David drawled out the monotone. That was low, Greer. Then he smiled. Congratulations. I didn't think you had it in you. I thought maybe honky was the best you could do.
At least I don't have to carry limestone in my pockets. Seems to me that's the only rocks swinging in your pants.
David turned to look at his friend, but Greer was on his hands and knees, and all he could see was an eyeful of upturned...